Hello everyone and welcome to our Hearts of Iron 4 playthrough. So for those of you that don't know, this is a fairly realistic World War II simulator game that lets you take charge of one specific country and play through them through the events of World War II. I'm choosing to start off in 1936. So I have a bit of time beforehand to kind of get my country prepped for the war rather than being thrown right into it. So you see here we got all the kind of big powers, the big players at the start of World War II. But I quite often find it's more fun to play a smaller country and see if you can influence the game. So you can see here, you can literally pick anyone. Like if we wanted to, we could be the tiny little nation of Bhutan. But we won't, because that would be incredibly boring, because you have like two guys. So what I think instead, we'll pick someone probably in Europe. Actually, let's do Romania. Romania is a pretty good one to play. So we're going to do Iron Man mode, because obviously we don't. I'm not about that scum saving. And historical focus, so the AI tries to act like how they would historically. It is worth mentioning the AI is a bit weird in this game. They'll do a bunch of weird shit, so I'll have to see how that goes down. Okay, so this game has a very kind of confusing and complicated UI, especially if you've never experienced it before. And I'm not going to do like a full tutorial because I'm not well enough versed at the game to do that, but I'll give a quick run through of what I'm doing so that if you've never seen it before, you can keep up. So basically, these are notifications at the top. They'll pop up when new shit happens and there's stuff you have to attend to. First one is research. This is obviously researching more efficient technology or better technology. So I think right at the start we want this one from electronic engineering. It just decreases research time, so the sooner you pick it up, the better. Probably want to help get something in industry as well, so we can produce things quicker. And we're lacking, the other thing is we're lacking manpower, which I'll get to in a minute. We're going to get some hospitals ready. Okay. Then in this game you have factories. You can see here we have 22 factories. But factories are split into basically two different categories. Three categories, but it's either civilian or military. So your civilian factories, the ones we're going to deal with first, are the ones that go into building stuff in your country. So you can see we have a whole list of options here. So you can build more factories, we can build forts, we can build air bases, we can build infrastructure. And a certain percentage of your civilian factories go to making consumer goods. So you can see right now we have 13. 6 of them have to go to consumer goods. And that changes based on what your export policies are, what your economic policies are. They all kind of play a role in there. But we can hopefully change that later so it gets lower, because it's kind of annoying to have half your civilian factories making consumer goods. For now, let's see how our infrastructure is. So we're going to upgrade some of the infrastructure in Romania. Infrastructure is fairly cheap to build and upgrade, and it kind of helps to ensure that our troops don't lose supply when they're out fighting wars. Let's get everything up to 6. And then we're going to want to probably build another civilian factory, and then a military. We're going to bump this civilian up to the front because the more civilian factories we have, the quicker we build stuff, so it makes sense to do it earlier on. The next one, we have military factories, so this produces what military shit we're going to produce. So here, right now, we have 2 making guns. We're getting 6 guns a day, and we need 501. So we're going to stick our extra 2 just in here, because we need that. We've got artillery, light tanks, support that we all have filled. And then the other smaller subset of factories is naval dockyards, which just build ships, quite obviously. And you know what? I'm going to put one there, and instead of that, I'm going to get one building convoys. Because convoys are needed for trade, and although right now we only have a tiny ocean, we have the Black Sea, is this? Yeah, the Black Sea. Hopefully we'll expand and take over more and have more access. So we will need these soon. What does this mean? Alright, okay. Next one is our national focus. So this kind of determines which way we want our country to head in the future. So before we select it, we have to think about what kind of game do we want to play. Right now, Romania's non-aligned mainly, and partly democratic, fascist, and a tiny sliver communist. I think the best way to do it is probably to go fascist. As much as it's morally wrong, fascism can help you make a lot of things easier in the game. It's easier to play as a fascist government. It can be a lot more fun sometimes. We're just going to go fascist. So we're going to go into here. We're going to start with political effort and work our way into making our country fascist. Low manpower. So you can see this number here is how many free available men we have that are not currently in the army that won't join. If you have 17,000, which is not a lot for World War II. So we really have to be super careful with our manpower. We can upgrade our conscription laws later to get us more people in the army. But that's also why I wanted to get hospitals research, because you can put hospitals in all your units and then you don't lose as many. And then the last one is inefficient resource, so we have to trade. So obviously you can see right now what Romania produces. We have a ton of oil, we have a little bit of steel, and a little bit of aluminum. So we need some tungsten, so we can click tungsten, it shows us who has some. So let's, for example, we're going to trade with Portugal. We have to give them civilian factories for materials. That's how the trading works in this game. It's a little bit odd, but I guess it works. Then we need 14 steel. So I think we'll trade with the Soviets since they're right next door, rather than have to send things all the way to the UK. So we need to give them 2 factories for 16, so we're really behind on steel. But that's done. This will go away once we start time, which I'm going to do now. There we go. So we start midnight January 1st, 1936, and go through the days. This is at our maximum speed. Usually when you're playing, you kind of play on like 3 or 4 speed. But early on, there's not a whole lot to do, so we can leave it on a high speed. This notification, so we're building, we need motorized, and we're not building any. So we just go into select a new thing, motorized, and we'll take 1 factory off of infantry equipment. But we need a shit ton of it. Like, we need 15,000 guns, and we're only making 16 a day. Like, it's gonna take a long ass time. Alright. You always need guns in this game. Doesn't matter who you're playing as, it seems like you always are running out of infantry equipment, so hopefully we'll just get a more efficient economy and build that. This is the extent of the Romanian fleet. We have 4 destroyers. So select a commander. We don't have one, so we'll grab one. Ile Valtuanu? Sure. He seems reliable. And we're missing more resources. So we're missing we're missing rubber. That's because we started building this motorized and you need rubber for the wheels. Rubber is very hard to come by. These are all the countries in the world that have access to rubber. And once you start going to war and countries won't trade with you, it can be very, very tricky. For now, we'll go with the Netherlands. We're losing a lot of civilian factories to trade. If we go to constructions, yeah, we have 16 civilian factories, which seems like a lot, but 7 of them are in consumer goods, and another 4 are in traded goods. So only 5 are actually building shit. So we really want to get these economic laws changed so we can build more shit. We do have a fairly decent army. You can see there's a bunch of shit that tells you, basically you hover over them, it tells you how well they're doing. Right now they're only at 30% strength or 35% strength because they need a lot more equipment. They have 128 and they need another 232. So our army will not really be ready to launch attack or defend well until we get the required equipment. Okay, so we're going to go fascist. We have to pick which country we want to go after first. Probably Bulgaria. Bulgaria is not protected, not part of a faction. Nobody really is too concerned with Bulgaria, so if we take it, they'll probably turn a blind eye. And then Hungary, maybe we can take some of the Czech. If we join the fascists early enough, we might be able to help with Poland as well. But let's start prepping for this war against Bulgaria. So Bulgaria, if you look at the territory, it's a fair bit of mountains around Sofia and Plovdiv. So let's make sure any mountain troops that we have are ready to march on Bulgaria. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to send most of our forces to Bulgaria. All these guys, we're going to highlight them all, make an army. That's going to be called Fuck Bulgaria. And we are going to assign, so we have 2 choices here. So these are the things. This guy has a benefit to fighting in hills, so we'll just assign him. Easy peasy. Bunch of orders we can give our army, just make a front line with Bulgaria. So now they're all gonna kind of sit along that front line and prepare. Remilitarization. So the AI will try to follow history as much as it can. So like Germany's remilitarizing the Rhineland. They'll make claims on Austria, Czechoslovakia, and Memel. But especially because we're doing something that did not happen in history, or altering history, the AI can get a little bit wonky sometimes. So we'll have to don't bank on it going exactly how it's supposed to go. You have to always assume that weird shit's going to happen. We've got political effort, so we can go to our government. We have all these slots. We're going to get a new advisor. We have all these people to choose for. We want the fascist demagogue, because he makes fascism. We're going to go with the higher-ups. So this is basically a choice. The higher-ups can take a bit longer for a coup. The younger generation can make it happen a bit quicker, I think, but you get a civil war. I believe that's how it works. We don't want a civil war. Even if it takes a little bit longer, I think civil wars are better off avoided. And we're going to keep going down this tree. Who is our ruling party? I thought we were non-aligned. No, we're led by a Democratic Party. So right now, because we're led by a Democratic Party, we want to go down to nationalism focus, because there's all the fascist stuff. But we can't right now. This is not allowed. You can see there's a big X for one of the requirements. We don't meet any of those requirements, so we'll tick over here and go to industrial effort. So to build up our industry. Oh, so we produced whatever submarine we were building, so we have a free dockyard. Let's just make a... Let's make this one. I don't really know what the difference is. I could go in and look, but I can't be asked, in all honesty. Let's merge these two fleets. Everyone's all together. I don't think Bulgaria is really going to have much of a fleet. When time for war comes, we'll station it there just in case. What about our Air Force? So you have 48 fighter planes here and 24 fighter planes there. So fighter planes are obviously good at just taking down other... Oh shit. Whoops, sorry. Pressed the wrong button there. Fighter planes are just obviously good at taking down enemy planes and helping us maintain air superiority. It'd probably be nice to build some bombers and close air support so we can have a bit more advantage in Bulgaria, but fuck it. Whatever. That's the longer game. Oh, good. More research done. Let's do the next one, just so we can get things researched really, really quickly. We can go to our army, so this guy is just a general, I believe, right? Yeah, he's a general, so we can only have 24 divisions. So we don't want to really fill it up. We can promote him to be a field marshal, which gives him unlimited divisions, but he loses this hill benefit. He'd earn new ones over time, but for the time being, we're fine with it just being 24. So if the public sport's sufficient, we'll become fascist, but I don't think it is. So that's non-existent. Okay, so now we'll draw a battle plan. So once we go into Bulgaria, I think we want to go here. If we can push this line, anybody who's pushed back to here will die. Because they'll have no way to get supplies, they'll have no good like ports or anything, they'll just be fucked. Now, although this war will not happen for a long-ass time, you do get a benefit for planning. So we want to plan ahead of time. We give you an extra, I think it's like a 30% attack bonus. And then when we're ready, we'll just click this button, go into Bulgaria, fuck them up. In the meantime, I think let's get some guys. What do you want to do with the rest of our army? I think what we'll do is we'll go to these guys and... Is there a way to prioritize them getting supplies? I know there's a way to do it with individual units. I don't know if there's a way to. Do resources, division template. No, we can exercise them. That's the opposite of what we want to do. Alright, how are we doing with our production? How many more? So we still need 13,000 more. Even though we're only producing 17 guns a day. 16 and a half, actually. Not even round to 17. 16 and a half guns a day. You can see we've got all the light tanks we need. And if we go to probably logistics, we've got 10 tanks extra, 32 motorized extra. So we'll cut the tanks. No more building tanks. Switch it over. And same with motorized. No more motorized. Go back to guns. So you can see this red bar here. So this means we're not operating at the maximum efficiency because we're still converting those two factories from something else to infantry equipment. So this will grow every day. Let me turn up the fucking speed. We don't need this slow. So every day you'll see this number, that 34.9 will grow a bit. And then we will produce more and more until it caps out at 50. Now it's going to cap out at 55 because of that research. So we're going to research more. No, let's slow it down because it's just happening. This is the thing with this game. You have long periods of doing nothing at all and just being bored, and then all of a sudden 10 shits are going to happen all at once, and it's just going to like knock you off your feet. So for industry, we can go concentrated, which is factories do more and there's more in the state, and disperse, which is better if you're going to be switching between one thing or another. I think we're going to go concentrated. We don't have a ton of factories, so we really want to maximize that factory output and the max factories in state. We really want to take advantage of that. So let's go with that one. National focus. Still democratic, so you have a choice between construction, armament. Construction is civilian factories, armament, military. We'll do civilian first, because that's better long game, because that means we can build more shit later on. And then after that, we'll get military. I believe, also, this puts us on a path to get the extra research slot. You want to get this as soon as possible, really. Because the sooner you get this, the sooner you can research more stuff, and the more dividends it pays back to you. Especially right now, where it's going to be a long time for we're at war. So we can see we have our fascist demagogue, who's increasing by 0.05. So normally you'd increase it by 0.1 a day, but because fascism's hit a certain threshold of popularity, it's decreased to 0.05. After a certain point, it'll decrease to like a third of its normal power and all that shit. So it does take a while to go to fascist, which I kind of like and don't like. From a game mechanic point of view, it can make it kind of slow down. She's like, I want to be fascist right now, I want to do this shit. But it makes it more realistic. You can't just expect a country to go from being mainly non-aligned and democratic to instantly being fascist overnight. It is going to take time. Okay, so we got another thing to modify government. The next thing I like to look for is see if we have one. Not everybody has the same options. Every single country will have democratic reformer, communist revolutionary, and fascist demagogues. You can always go to whichever faction. But a lot of people have different options, I believe anyways. So we have a silent workhorse, which gives us more political power, which is what we're spending right now. So I think we're going to get him, because he's an investment in the future. Because now you can see we're getting an extra 0.3 political power a day. So pay for himself pretty soon, because we're in the long game here. This war is going to go on for at least a decade. It's going to be a long-ass war. Okay, we'll slow down. So Italy took Ethiopia. We'll look at that. Field hospitals, good. So to actually implement the field hospitals, though, we need army experience. So we don't have any of that yet, so we can't do anything with that right now. We can look at land doctrines. So land doctrines are things that just give overall benefits to your entire army. And the white text basically gives a rough idea of what they're looking for. So mass assault is probably what you want to do if you're like Soviets or China. Yeah, you don't need good weapons, just a lot of people with mediocre weapons. We probably want this, because our manpower is precious, bullets are cheap. We're not a massive country, we're not a massively dense country, at least not compared to Germany and the UK and the US and the Soviets. So we can't out-manpower them. So we'll go down that road and see if that can help us out. Now, even again, before we want to declare war on Bulgaria, we're going to have to justify against them. But because we're not aligned, we can't justify war goals. Even if we were democratic, it would be harder to justify. Oh, we are democratic, yeah, it's 100%. Non-aligned is also hard to justify. Fascist and communist, you can justify right away, which is one of the nice things about them. I was saying, as soon as we go fascist, we should link up with our German brothers. And then maybe we can pincer Czechoslovakia. Although Germany will likely make the Czech submit. Usually what's supposed to happen, at least when they go historical focus, is Germany will take Austria. Not with a war. They'll just claim it as their own, and Austria will submit to that, because, I mean, I've tried playing as Austria, and you can't really hold out. Even if you go join a faction really, really early, Germany will still attack, so crush through you. The Germany will claim, like, this part. Kind of like the head of this snake. And which is a big loss for the Czech, because they lose most of their territory, they lose their capital, they lose all that shit. So it becomes sort of a non-player, at least not really as much as they would have been. Next construction one go. And then Germany will also claim some of these parts in the north. They'll claim Memel, which is this area here, I believe. I think there's a provinces mode, isn't there? Yeah, so they'll claim Memel, just this tiny region, which may seem insignificant, but it's not. Mainly because it has a port. So, like, they take one port, and then if they want to take Lithuania, all they really have to do is take this other port, and then Lithuania, they can start to really split Lithuania up and encircle them and fuck them up. Poland has a decent army, but they can't match Germany's. Germany's got a tremendous army. And the Soviets, depending on how the Germany how Germany tries to play it with the Soviets might come in and wage war on Poland, or they might just claim half of Poland, all that weird shit. What else is going on? Oh yeah, over in the east, Japan and China. Now, they're supposed to go to war. Historically, Japan's supposed to win. But a lot of the time in this game, China ends up winning. Which is kind of weird, but I'm hoping they don't, because if we're going to join the Axis, we're going to need Japan. Or we might have to try and see if we can help out somehow. I don't really know how. We don't have a ton of access. We can't actually. We don't have any access to Japan. The Olympics are done. The 11th Olympic Games. Concentrated industries researched. Concentrated industries researched. It's a bit ahead of time, but fuck it. We need more production efficiency. We need to be able to produce more shit faster. Still need 10,000 guns, but we're getting there. We're making progress. And these are going down. Artillery's going to take a long ass time. We still need 160 artillery. We're only making one a day. But it's going down. They're all going down. We're making more ships. We're making convoys. Only like one a month though. Jeez, that's not a lot. Okay, how close are we to becoming fascist now? So we're 28% fascist, 53% non-aligned, and 17% democratic. So if we look... So our next election's in 1937 of December. It doesn't really matter. Fascism, we can have a coup. But... So look at here what democracy does. So you can't declare war on other countries very easily. We can't puppet countries. You can't declare war against countries that generate world tension. World tension's marked by this thing here. And it's generally when countries commit aggressive acts, world tension goes up, and then it gradually goes down over time. It'll just be 100 once the war kicks off, but... So infrastructure we don't need right away. So we'll get the armament. This gives us military factory, which is also important. Another one. So because we have our workhorse, we got political power a lot quicker. Let's slow down a little bit. Let's get an industry guy. So this means everything we're researching industries quicker. Fine. Looks good. I was playing earlier and I tried to record and it fucked up. Or I fucked up, I guess. Because I recorded to the wrong place. So I was playing as Greece and I took Albania. And somehow that got Italy involved? I don't know. Yeah, because Albania's independence is guaranteed by Italy. But usually Italy won't back that up too much. But Italy went to war, but I was with Germany, so Germany went to war with Italy. And just shit went down. And Japan was losing to China, and it was just a massive shit show. So I'm excited to see if anything weird happens this time, because it's always kind of a double-edged sword with the AI being not so great or doing weird shit. Because on the one hand, if you want to hardcore play the game, it can kind of ruin it, because you can play around the AI quite a lot, and you can know how to manipulate it. But it can also make it very entertaining, because really weird shit happens. So we're just going to have to see what goes down. I think we'll make this an army. We'll appoint our field marshal. Combat width. Supply consumption. No, sounds good. Make a front line in Hungary. Fuck off, Hungary. Just in case they try to attack. And these guys... The thing is, we have to make sure not to piss off the Soviets. This is a very large border we have with the Soviets, and there's a shit ton of Soviets. Like, my god, do they have, like, millions and millions of people they will just throw at us. So this technology is a bit ahead of its time, so we don't really want to research that. What we probably want... We need to look at where we're going. So we're hopefully going to take Bulgaria, Hungary... They'll take Austria, take some of the Czech, Yugoslavia. So we're going to need... Probably take Greece and Albania eventually. So we're going to need... some... Oh, shit. We're fascist. We are legionary Romania. We've done it. Okay, let's get justifying. So justify war goal. Conquer. Sofia. Alright, so you can see this will take until August 1937. So it'll take almost a year to justify, which is kind of shit, but whatever. Yeah, so we want mountain men. We want good mountain men. Is what I was working my way around to in a very long day. Oh, we already have mountain men. This is 2 years. Let's just upgrade our infantry's equipment. Because we're going to be doing a lot of fighting in mountains. And eventually, we might actually be able to take Turkey and then set our sights on the Middle East. I would absolutely love to take all of this, all of Eastern Europe, and then Turkey, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia. Because at this point in history, they don't have massive armies. I think Afghanistan is the biggest out of all of them. Just because they hadn't been... I don't think they'd been sovereign nations for very long. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that in 1936, a lot of them, like a lot of Middle Eastern countries, are newly sovereign. Because there was a while where this was all, like, they're sort of colonies. Kind of like how you have the British Raj here in what is known today as India. Okay, so this is basically us saying Bulgaria is getting a thing. Oh, the Anti-Comintern Pact. Comintern Pact. So if we join, Soviets are upset with us. The Germans are happy. If we don't join, the Germans are upset with us. Doesn't make the Soviets happy. I think we'll join. We want to side up with Germany. We want to be part of the Axis, so we just have to be very aware that we don't piss off the Soviets too much. Because they really could just steamroll us. Like, we're not part of... Oh, wait, we're fascist. Shit. Ask to join faction. Oh, okay. So we cannot join faction yet. Because we had neutral foreign policy. But now we just abandoned it right as I was saying that. Join the faction. They will accept. We're part of the Axis, baby. Oh, yeah. We got military factories. We got another one. Let's get more guns. We only need 6,000 more guns. We need another steel. Let's try to get it from the Germans. We're going to be with the Germans for a while, so we're safe to buy from them. We don't need any more rubber, so you can stop importing it. National focus. So now going the whole fascist way is less important because it gives you a boost to fascism, which is good, but I think there are other things more important. Probably such as getting, let's get some infrastructure. Let's get infrastructure and go for this extra research slot now. I've got another military factory. I know I'm not min-maxing the research or anything like that, but fuck it. I'm here to play and have fun. So we'll have to see. Okay. How far are we now? How close is this justification? It was August of this year. Shit, it's going to take so long. I'm just going to leave it on max speed because it's going to take so long. I just don't want to wait. Like, even on max speed, it's going to take a long time. So I really think if we can punch through here and take these ports and then start splitting them up, as soon as we can encircle them and lock them off in ports. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Spanish Civil War. So, let's pause it here. Okay, so we've got everything set up. All the base work is all the groundwork's laid, so to speak. And we've joined the Axis, so I think this is a good place to leave off. And next time we come back, we'll have the Spanish Civil War going on. Hopefully we'll be late enough into the year to declare war on Bulgaria without it taking like 20 million episodes. It shouldn't. I'll leave it on a high speed, so it shouldn't take that long. We can crush the Bulgarians, take the Hungarians, all the Aryans. Well, not the Aryans, not the Aryans, but all the, all our neighbors are fucked. We're taking it all. Romania will rise to be the new superpower. Alright, thank you very much for joining me. If you have any sort of tips or tricks, just by all means suggest it. I've played a fair bit of this game, but I'm by no means experienced. There's so many intricacies with this game, there's so much to learn, that I'm sure I'm doing tons of things wrong. And just let me know and I'll take them into account and try to fix them in future episodes. Please leave a like or comment if you want to support me. It helps a lot. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.